Buckle up, folks. Picture this: a high-stakes showdown in the arena of global trade, where two heavyweights clash in a battle that shakes the world stage. In one corner, Donald Trump, wielding the unstoppable might of the U.S. economy like a thunderbolt. In the other, Canada's Prime Minister, fighting to hold on in national pride, but crumbling under pressure. What started as a bold stand against U.S. trade policies spiraled into a humiliating surrender that's got everyone buzzing. Get ready for a roller coaster of drama, missteps, and a victory so decisive it redefines power. Stay tuned, because this story will grip you to the very end, revealing how Trump once again calls the shots while Canada scrambles to keep up. Today, I'm announcing that the Canadian government will match the United States by lifting all of Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods covered under CUSMA, effective September 1st. We'll maintain tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos as we work closely with the U.S. to resolve those issues. But here's the bombshell, friends: Canada caved. After months of tough talk, fiery rhetoric, and a boycott that seemed like it might actually sting, Prime Minister Carney folded under pressure. He and his team scrapped the retaliatory tariffs on U.S. alcohol imports. And, shockingly for some, Donald Trump is laughing. The whole plan backfired spectacularly. What began as a defiant stand against American trade policies ended in an embarrassing collapse. Trump wins, Carney folds. Trump has always been crystal clear: America doesn't beg. It doesn't cut deals out of fear or desperation. Carney, though, didn't get the memo. When Canada slapped on those retaliatory tariffs, the goal was to hit U.S. industries hard and punish America for its trade moves. But it didn't take long for Carney to realize that was a massive miscalculation. Instead of standing firm, he tried to spin his actions. Once you're backed into that corner, you're already losing, and there's no turning back. Every news outlet and social media post is ablaze with the hashtag breaking news. Canada to remove 25% retaliatory tariffs on CUSMA-compliant U.S. products. Trump didn't budge. He leaned in harder, using America's economic muscle and negotiation prowess. Canada blinked first in this game of chicken and crashed hard. The moment Carney stepped up to the podium, he was on the ropes. Reporters smell blood. Instead of radiating strength, he looked like a man scrambling to explain away his mistakes. Lines like, "We're just matching what the U.S. did," fell flat. That's not power. That's weakness. The media pounced. What do you gain by dropping these tariffs? His response lacked substance. How does this make Canada stronger? It doesn't. Trump set the terms, and Carney, without a solid game plan, just followed along. This wasn't a win for Canada. It was a resounding victory for Trump and Team USA. He dictated the rules, and Carney, desperate to save face, caved. Critics called it out. "You're backing down to Trump." Carney countered, "Let's be clear, we've got the best deal in the world right now. Our average tariff rate is just over 5.5%, compared to the global 16%, often much higher." A presidential executive order confirmed this 2 weeks ago. We need to preserve that while focusing on strategic sectors: steel, aluminum, autos, lumber, and the upcoming CUSMA review. Then, leaning into a hockey analogy, he said, "I've played some hockey. There's a time in a big game when you go hard in the corners, elbows up, or drop the gloves to send a message. We've done that. But there's also a time to control the puck, make a pass, and score. We're in that phase now." Come on, Carney. That metaphor fooled no one. It was almost comical how he tried to pitch this defeat as strategy. Trump didn't just sit back. He made sure the terms favored him. Within days, Canada's so-called tough stance crumbled. The tariffs stopped being a bargaining chip and became a symbol of defeat. Trump knew exactly what he was doing. He pushed until Canada buckled. Dropping these tariffs isn't just a policy shift. It's an admission of failure. Carney and his team hoped the boycott would hurt U.S. industries. They aimed to strike American imports where it hurt most. Well, that plan flopped. Canada announced the removal of retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods compliant with the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, CUSMA. This move aligns with the agreement's terms and aims to ease trade tensions. Sounds like a step towards smoother relations, right? Wrong. While Carney pushed this narrative, Trump was playing a different game. He didn't wait around. Using the weight of the U.S. economy and his negotiation skills, he built relentless pressure. Trump ensured Canada would either fold or face worse consequences. And fold they did badly. What looked like an aggressive stance turned into a full retreat when the boycott's true cost became clear. Instead of holding ground, Carney surrendered to the U.S. with nothing in return. Trump made no concessions, while Canada gave up its leverage. This wasn't a negotiation, it was capitulation. Carney's press conference was a train wreck. He walked in knowing the reporters would tear him apart. Every question was a jab. What do you gain? Why cave to Trump? His answers, stuffed with stats about tariff-free goods, convinced no one. The numbers didn't matter. What mattered was Canada gained nothing, and Trump took everything. Seeing a leader so visibly defeated is rare, but Carney put on full display. He tried to spin the narrative, but the media and public weren't buying it. Let's hear from Matthew Holmes, Senior Vice President at the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. What impact will this have on Canadian businesses and consumers? Consumers will notice it quickly in grocery stores. Orange juice prices, for example, have spiked. Businesses relying on U.S. supply chains will see relief. It's a smart move to highlight CUSMA's value and strengthen our trade ties with the U.S., he said. But let's be real, this wasn't strategy. It was a desperate bid to save face in a losing battle. Step back for a moment. This isn't just about tariffs. It's a broader geopolitical struggle where Trump asserts U.S. dominance while Canada flounders. Trump plays the long game with bold, calculated moves. Canada, on the other hand, buckles under pressure. The dynamic is stark. Trump pushes, wins. Canada retreats, loses. How long can this go on? The world is watching as Trump's leadership shines and Canada's resolve fades. The next trade dispute. Will Canada stand firm or fold further? It's easy to predict. Trump will keep setting the terms, and Canada will scramble to catch up. Under Trump, the U.S. economy is thriving, and his knack for securing favorable deals is undeniable. Every move sends a message. America doesn't back down. Other nations must adapt or get left behind. For Canada, this means facing a persistent power imbalance. They don't hold the cards the U.S. does. They can't keep conceding just to save face. They need a strategy rooted in strength and resilience, not appeasement. If Carney wants global influence, he must challenge the U.S. without blinking. Until then, Trump will keep winning. The takeaway is crystal clear. Trump dominates international trade. He sets the terms of every deal, and Canada stumbles, trying to recover from each loss. This tariff rollback is the latest proof of how Trump has put Canada on the defensive. As Canadian economist Trevor